Hello, welcome back to another video. I was just sketching, trying to figure out what would come out. I had done a bunch before this, kind of a lot like last time, thinking, maybe something will turn out, but I had a lot on my plate and it was really difficult. I was thinking about a bunch of stuff that I needed to get done, and that makes me draw a little bit too fast and without thought, so I ended up finally calming down a little bit around this time and feeling a bit better. Some of what's on the top is actually from the video before, only it got cut out. It was just a little bit of, I guess, tiny thumbnail scenes from a story I had been writing on a little bit when I could. So, yeah, then we're kind of just designing this guy. I just had a very base idea, and I end up giving him a tiny companion later on because I like doing that. So to start out, my usual, I really like doing hollow eyes. I like doing no lips, lots of teeth. So yeah, did that. And antlers. Have to have horns. Love horns. The funny thing is, because I drew a little bit too heavy in the middle part, kind of looks like he's wearing those circle glasses. I always kind of liked those, but I didn't draw too many characters with them. Probably more when I was younger, I did. I really like this little brush. It's kind of like using a highlighter in its own way. I decided to add eyes. I thought maybe they do actually kind of see, and then if he's standing in the trees, you would just see all of these eyes looking at you. So that was the idea. I really like drawing strings and rope and things like that hanging off of horns. So it's an ongoing thing for me. I tend to draw it quite a lot. If I draw antlers, I pretty much always have to attach something to them. Actually, when I went to Missoula, Montana, years ago now, I think the first time I went, my friend lived in like this end part of, I don't know what you would even call it, because it's not even quite a cul-de-sac, but it was back in there, and there was like trees and things, and you could walk through them and go to a gas station, which is wild to me, but it was cool. Actually, when we would do it, someone had put down an old door for them to be able to cross the little stream thing that was there. I mean, it was like decently deep, so you didn't really want to fall. You didn't really want to fall in there. So yeah, we had to cross a door so that we could go over to the gas station. And at the time, I was feeling bad. I had gotten off a plane. It was my first time riding a plane by myself. So yeah, I was very anxious and ended up with a horrible migraine, of course. So we went over there, and I ended up getting like a tea and stuff. But anyway, that's not the important part of the story. I don't know why my throat was so raw today. But the thing was that I had seen a deer walking through the front of their yard, and it had just tangles of what looked like balloon ribbon or something kind of stuck in its antlers, which was honestly sad because there's nothing that you can do about it. But I think that kind of like stuck in my head, and so yeah, whenever I draw antlers, I always think of that and end up drawing things kind of tangled or tied in them. interesting origin story, I guess. That was a fun trip, honestly. That was like my first time properly going and getting boba tea and walking around in a place like that so much, because I live in a very small town and I don't really like going into the city. There's like small parts of it that are very interesting to me because, again, it's not how I grew up, but yeah, it's very weird. So this is the tiny companion. So I decided to draw a very young werewolf. Except for some reason I could not draw a dog that day, which is so sad because I can usually draw at least one that looks like our corgi from memory. He's not full corgi, so there's a bit of him that looks more like the healer side, aside from his tiny body. So yeah, but for some reason just was not managing it that day, which was... It was fine. So then I started drawing this little guy, and it made me laugh because he ended up looking like a weird mix between, I don't know, Tintin and Astro Boy. So that was funny. And the body type that I wanted to give him, incidentally, also really reminded me of Astro Boy. Yeah, I just unconsciously did that, I guess. I really wasn't trying to. It was just the style I wanted. It was kind of what I wanted to do for the Oni that I drew in my sketchbook. So I was kind of like, I don't know, I want to try to do it a little bit better, that like chubby short kind of thing. I still made it a little long, but it's okay. I liked the way that it turned out to a degree, so yeah. And I've been drawing a lot of people with crossed arms, and I never realized that I'm like falling into something like that until I rewatch a video. And I'm like, didn't I just do that? So yeah, everybody is keeping me self-aware, which I need to practice. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get enough videos to get me through all of July and preferably a little bit further on, because of all of the stuff that I mentioned before in some of the other videos, the trip to Canada, and that'll be like 10 days. And we still do the market. Like as soon as we come back, we're straight into the market. And that doesn't end until October. I think the second week in October, but I could be wrong. And yeah, it's a lot. And then I have some doctor's appointments when we come back, and that's always a whole thing. And then my brother has his appointment, with his specialist for his autoimmune liver thingy-do. So yeah, it's a lot. We're gonna be busy, and then I also have the mowing job, so yeah, there's a lot to balance out. So I'm just trying to get ahead a bit in videos when I can, and that's why I actually have a decent amount queued up and scheduled right now, but I'm really trying to keep going because this week I didn't have as much time to do that, so now I'm trying to find some way to catch up on what I missed, because yeah, I don't know. I'm so sleepy though. I don't know how people actually go to bed. They actually fall asleep and they get up and just do things the next day. But the good news is, which I guess I haven't mentioned now in a video, is I did get my computer parts in, and my brother and I got it all put together. There was some rough stuff in the middle where we had to take out my SSD and whatnot and get that upgraded by using his computer so that we could actually get it to turn on properly, which was fine, and we managed it and it worked, and actually it's working really nicely. And I found out that I could put pictures in my CPU cooler because I got a liquid cooler, and it's pretty great. It's dumb, but it's funny. And luckily this computer does not have a bunch of LED lights and stuff like that. Because my other one only had a couple, but they're too bright for me. And even when I turned it off, it would still have like one or two lights that stayed on. And I'm like, I can't do that. I need the darkness. So yeah, this one's really nice. It completely turns off, so that's brilliant. And I should be able to edit my videos on there and stuff, so that's lovely. So what I was drawing before didn't turn out, obviously, because I didn't know I was going to draw them together. And so when I started drawing them, I just made them two separate pictures because they just weren't to scale and it wasn't going to work out. And I didn't want to erase the whole thing, so I decided to draw this one on the side where they would be, you know, interacting in their way. So what's happening is our little wolf boy is bringing Antler Eyeball Man a bunch of birds. And he's holding onto his cape to look at the eyes. There's supposed to be one like right on the edge where he's holding it. And it's looking right at him. I imagine he was kind of like following him, playing with the eyeball cape, and wouldn't leave him alone. Realized he ate birds and brought him some. I've been drawing a lot of fallen trees and stuff. It's been weird not to do ranch stuff this year, because I'm usually in the woods quite a bit, and I really like being in the woods. It reminds me of being my grandpa, so yeah. See, I played with this one for a while. It's still a little stiff, but it was improving because that first sketch was so stiff. It was awful. But it's okay. It takes me a while to just calm down and start drawing loosely. I'd gotten better about it for a while, but yeah. Getting very close to the end here because I didn't do too much with this. I actually got called, and so I got it from my computer and left. And when I came back, I thought, this is fine. So I was trying to fix his nose. So yeah, this is the finished picture. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought. Have a very good day or night, and bye.